What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on natural gas futures.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And in today's video, first of all, I will show you where we are on a price chart and how we get there. Then I will continue with the fundamental news that might be the upcoming driver for the price action. And at the end of this video, I will share my thoughts and my technical analysis. And I will show you what should we expect next. So let's start with the price chart. I made my previous video right here at this point, and I've told you that we completed or almost completed the movement to the downside, and this movement from its swing high, and by the way we are on a Boyle ticker symbol, it is the leveraged ETF, and in a minute I will show you why I chose this ticker instead of NG exclamation mark, for example. But right here, as you can see, we had a quite good movement, and then with this movement to the upside, we have an increase in volume. And my main assumption was that from this point, we might have the next leg to the upside that will unload the entire structure from its swing high to swing low, with an upside potential of from 22.76% all the way up to 42%. And I also told you that if this asset goes lower and if it breaks this previous bottom, you should put your stop loss at around $3.2 price point. And unfortunately, we hit this stop loss order. But in general, it is a very good example where you can save your money instead of losing substantial amount of your portfolio with this movement to the downside. So the downside potential was about 8.5%, and if you leveraged your buys down, definitely your downside potential was lower, and the upside potential was at the same time higher. This means this risk to reward ratio was a very good setup, but in general right now we hit the stop loss order, and it happens, and without this stop loss order we might lose up to the current range up to 15% of our portfolio. Quite substantial number, isn't it? So, and in my technical analysis in just several minutes I will show you what should we expect next from the technical standpoint. But for now let's continue with the fundamental news. And first of all, let me switch right here to yahoofinance.com, and on April the 6th we can find this article that US nat gas futures is ahead of storage report. And let me quote to this. US natural gas futures edged lower on Thursday as market participants awaited cues from a federal report expected to show a bigger than usual storage draw last week. Analysts forecast US utilities pulled 21 billion cubic feet BCF of natural gas from storage last week. That compares with the 24 BCF withdrawal during the same week a year ago and a 5-year 2018-2022 average of 0 BCF. There is nothing much happening in the market right now. There is just some profit taking ahead of the storage report, said Robert D. Donna of Energy Ventures Analysis. We favor price consolidation at least for the next week or two. If there is a surprise or a big shift in the weather models, then we'll see a price break. So, and this means the movement to the downside that hit our stop loss order was made because of the mild forecast for the weather, and definitely this bad news on the one hand caused some losses on our accounts, but also it gives more opportunity to see the major movement to the upside. And let's continue with the technical analysis, but before we dive deep right here, please subscribe to my channel, hit notification bell and hit the like button. This helps me a lot. So guys, first of all, let me explain why I chose Boyle ticker symbol instead of, for example, let me show you, NG1 exclamation mark. It is just natural gas futures. So this price action was quite harsh, but it is a pretty much sideways movement, and the latest movement to the downside from its swing high to this swing low hit about 8.22% of downside potential. And if we compare it with the Boyle ticker symbol, let me show you its latest movement to the downside, and it gained about, or lost about 16.75%. So this ETF follows the natural gas future prices, but it is a leveraged ETF, and this means we have much exposure of potential profit and much exposure of potential losses. This means this asset is more risky but more profitable in general. And let me switch again to natural gas futures, and let me show you that this movement to the downside reached its very strong support range at $2 mark, and this range is quite significant because it is this previous bottom at the same spot, exactly at the same spot, and it is the round number by itself with a good psychological support, and that is why at this very point we have this reaction to the upside that brought about 1.81% to its value. And what should we expect next? Definitely, I don't think that we might see the trend continuation right away from this point. We cannot have this type of movement in a sharp V-shaped correction, in my opinion. But as you can see on 30 minutes time frame on RSI, we have this movement to the downside that broke the range of the border in between neutral territory and oversold condition. And this means we might see another leg to the downside that probably will break this bottom, the $2 mark. And if it is the case, and if the price action right here, the RSI chart will show us this type of price action and then movement to the upside, we will form a very good bullish divergence in this case, and this divergence might lead to the trend reversal on this price chart. And definitely when we switch to Boyle ticker symbol, you can find that this movement also might have a sooner trend reversal. We have absolutely the same price action, harsh sell-off during the last session on Thursday, and we have an anticipation that we might form a bullish divergence on a 30 minutes time frame. This means if it happens, if the bounce happens, we cannot rely on a short period of time that this asset will break all the resistances above its current range, because we are only on 30 minutes time frame, and if we switch to, for example, hourly time frame, we are hovering right at the edge of neutral and oversold territory. If we switch to 4 hours time frame, we are on the neutral territory, and definitely this means that the trend might continue to go to the downside, and that is why you have to be cautious with your position. But in general, last week we already had the negative news, especially at the end of this week, and most likely we will see some kind of rebalancing of this bad news, and this rebalance will be reflected on the price chart as well. So, and that is why, if you are risky enough, and if you know that you might lose again up to 8% or even 10% of your position, definitely you can accumulate from $3, and let's assume that we might on a 30 minutes time frame. Again, let me switch to this range. Let's assume that we might hit about $2.76 price point, or let's say $2.7 mark. Definitely it implies again the downside potential of about 10%, as I already mentioned, but the upside potential even to the this previous swing high that we might hit in upcoming session, it is 17% of potential profit. And if you ladder your buys down to the range of about $2.8, your upside potential becomes 26.34%, and the downside to $2.77 might be only 4.24%. This means risk to reward ratio again becomes very lucrative, about 6 to 1, and this means you can rely on this setup if you put your stop loss at these ranges, because without the proper risk management you will continuously lose a substantial amount of your money, and in general you will be in a red for the longer period of time. But with the stop loss order and proper risk management, you will be able to achieve much higher profit in a short period of time just based on this strategy. So, I think from the technical standpoint that's it for now. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel with notification bell. And see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you.